Men are confused about what women want. By the same token, I think women are confused about what they want in a man as well.
Welcome to another episode of the Hayley Morecambe podcast. I am so excited you're here, for showing up for yourself, your self-love and self-worth. Each week I gift you the permission and the space to claim the most happy, healthy, abundant life and give you access to the most sparkliest version of you. On this journey together, we'll learn and grow and thrive to be the best version of ourselves. We don't settle for anything less than incredible. I'm your host, Hayley, a women's wellness and mindset coach with over a decade of industry experience. I'm the founder of my signature program, Naturally Well. I'm a writer, a former radio host and journalist, and all-round wellness guru. I'm a mama to the most divine little girl and a fur parent to a cheeky little cavoodle. I am so pumped to take you into another magical episode. Are you ready? Let's go. Today's episode is such a powerful one and a little bit different to what we usually do here, because for the first time in a while, we're bringing a strong masculine perspective onto the podcast. And I know so many of you are going to get so much out of this conversation. Today, I'm joined by Trent Parry from Balanced Blokes. Trent is someone who has spent over 25 years working as a builder, but over time has stepped deeply into the world of personal growth, men's work, and relationship dynamics. He's a certified breathwork facilitator, men's coach, and someone who is incredibly passionate about helping men find their purpose, live their truth, honor women, and embrace vulnerability. And what I love most about Trent's work is how grounded he is. He's not just talking theory. He's working with real men every single day, helping them navigate relationships, emotions, communication, and what it actually means to show up as a healthy masculine in today's world. And inside this conversation, we really open up the discussion around the masculine and feminine dynamic, but more importantly, what it actually looks like for you as a woman, because I know so many of you listening have probably felt this before. You're doing the work, you're growing, you're becoming more self-aware, but your relationship still feels hard. Maybe it's disconnected or like something is just missing. And this is where this conversation is going to shift things for you. We talk about what the masculine and feminine dynamic actually means in a modern relationship, why so many men feel confused about their role today and what they actually need, how you as a woman can better support your partner without losing yourself, what makes a man feel respected, supported, and desired, the small things that unintentionally shut men down in relationships, why communication is the foundation for everything, how to bring back connection, polarity, and attraction, and what a healthy masculine and feminine dance actually looks like when it's working. There is also a really powerful moment where Trent shares what a lot of men feel like they just can't do anything right. And I think for so many women listening, that's going to land in a completely different way, because this episode isn't about blaming men or women. It's about understanding each other. And it's about creating safety, communication, and connection so both people can actually thrive inside the relationship. And if you've ever wondered, how can I better understand my partner, or how can I support him without overgiving or losing myself, or why does it feel like we're missing each other sometimes, this episode is going to open your eyes. So let's dive straight in. Welcome to the show, Trent.
Thanks, Hayley. Thanks for having me.
It's actually really nice to have some masculine energy on the show. It's been a little while. We've had lots of the feminine energy, but I'm really excited to have masculine energy on the show and a masculine perspective on things.
When you asked me to be on the show, I was very excited and happy to jump at the chance.
Yeah, so good. Let's jump into our rapid fire questions.
Yep.
To get to know you a little bit more, and then we'll get into all the juice. So the first question is, if you could swap lives with anyone in the whole world for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow.
They're big ones.
I think I'd like to swap with my son just to get some perspective on what it's like being he's just turned 13, so get some perspective of what it's like being a 13-year-old boy or turning into a man in this day and age with all the technology. Stacey and I, my wife, Stacey and I, we were talking the other night about when we were going out, when we were kids, not so much 13, but when we were a bit older, there was no social media.
Yeah.
You had to get photos developed. So if you're taking photos, you're posing for them. It's a completely different world. So just to get some perspective from that would be really good,
Yeah.
basically to help raise him.
Yeah, that's right, exactly, to then how to parent him.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I mean, I couldn't imagine what it is living in the world that we live in now, being a child.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a really good answer, thanks for sharing that. Number 2 is what's the first thing you do in the morning to start your day on a positive note?
It's a bit of a routine. First thing I do, first and foremost, is I drink water. Uh, I'll get dressed then, and soon after that, I will do my 30 breaths. I'm a breathwork facilitator, so that's a big part of my life. And that just sort of sets the tone for the day and helps with intention setting and stuff like that for the rest of the day.
I love that. Why 30?
It's 30 gets me to the point where I'm a really terrible meditator. So
Mm,
it gets me to that meditative space. Breathwork gets you, it's for you, and it really allows you to get in touch with what's going on inside your head. Things will pop up when you weren't really thinking of. So 30 breaths get me there, and then I'll go up and make a coffee, getting ready for work. I work on building sites, so I'm off pretty early.
mm. Yeah, I love that. That's a good start. And the third of our rapid fire is if you could choose one superpower to help you in business or life, what would it be and why?
To help me in business or life. Your first thoughts go to all the superpowers from all the superheroes, but
Yeah.
I think perspective. I think a lot of people aren't that self-aware of how they come across to other people. So having that perspective from another person's point of view on what I'm asking. I'm in leadership roles at work, and same again for home. Yes, a leadership role at home as well, but having another person's perspective often can change if you they there is the saying of putting yourself in someone else's shoes, and there's a reason for that. I think that's very lost in this day and age, having real self perspective. So seeing it from another angle from someone else, I reckon that's a really good superpower.
That would be actually. That would diffuse a lot of things, like if people are getting lost in translation or communication. Yeah,
100%.
and that's a really good answer. You mentioned breath work before, so thanks for answering those rapid fire questions. You mentioned breath work before. That's how I met you and Stacey, your wife
Yes.
Stacey, 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now, when I moved to the coast.
Yep.
And you're an amazing breathwork facilitator. You're so good at it. You're like in your zone of genius when you're doing it. And yeah, I've learnt lots about you since then, you and Stacey. But take us back. I know everyone has a bit of a story. You haven't always been doing your breathwork and also coaching men. Take us back to how you got to where you've come from and what you're doing now.
I've always been open to new things, always happy to put myself out of my comfort zone. Um, I went through a marriage breakup in 2018. Most people do after that and sort of have a bit of a party for a little bit. And then just before COVID hit, I met the wonderful Stacey, who you've mentioned before. She's a naturopath nutritionist and she's into all things spiritual as well. She'll often tell you can heal the body, but you can't fully heal until you heal the spiritual. So when I met her through COVID, we had a wonderful relationship in lockdown. It was fantastic. As soon as lockdown started easing, she started asking if I wanted to go to these sorts of events. And I went to a breathwork and also a sound healing. And I was like, what's this? This is amazing. And I didn't really drop in. We have that saying in the breathwork world, but I kept going to different breathwork events. And when I finally did sort of drop in on like my fourth event, I was like, oh, this is life changing. And I think a lot of people, yourself included, feels the same about it. So from there, I was all in. Stace and I went and did our facilitation together with Spirit Breathwork. And we moved into a house that thankfully has a space under our deck and allowed us to start running events, along obviously with our cold water exposure as well.
Mhm.
And I've just run from there.
Yeah, I love that. And you do building on the side as well?
I've been a builder for 28 years now.
Mm.
So working on building sites keeps me fit. It's good to have a chat with the boys on site as well. And once they hear what I do, that some are interested, some are like, oh, it's a bit airy fairy. But often they come around. But it's a good place to sort of spread the word.
Yeah. What's the goal? What's the goal from here?
I think I'd like to keep stepping back from building and doing more of what I'm leaning into. This year's all about action and flowing and growing for me.
Mm,
I've got a men's retreat in the works. It's going to be announced in about a month's time. And I've also worked with a lot of plant medicines, as you know. So I've got a retreat coming up for that as well. So
amazing.
if I can keep running those and people are interested, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, so good. I love that because it's not a very common story. Like coming from, obviously, it's such like what the industry, the building industry, and then to have this spiritual side. I think it's more accepted here on the coast than a lot of other places. But yeah, well done on even doing that because yeah, like I honestly believe that's what you're supposed to be doing
Yeah.
because you're so good at it. You shine. I went to when was the balanced heart retreat? Was that not last year but the year before?
It was 2 years ago this July.
Yeah, and that was so beautiful. So it's a 4-day retreat that you and Stacey ran, and I really loved how you both taught and really bounced off each other and had that beautiful dance between the masculine and feminine, and teaching that to people to, obviously work in harmony in relationships, which is so good, and also within themselves. So yeah, I just think you're so great at that, and you're definitely born for that. So keep chasing that for sure. But for people hearing about masculine and feminine dynamics for the first time, how would you explain what that actually means in a relationship?
That's a big question. There's a lot of we could run the whole podcast basically on that
Yeah.
question. I'll digress a little bit. People are confused by the whole masculine and feminine dynamic, what it
Hmm.
actually means. The feminist movement had a lot to do with that confusion. I do believe the feminist movement was required. I do believe it's also pretty much done its job. There's still stuff being sorted out. But through that movement, men kind of lost their way. Women, funnily enough, because it was a feminist movement, a lot of women forgot what it was to be actually feminine as well,
Mm,
because it was butting heads against men, men against women. We want the same as what you guys have got. And I'm all for that, 100%. I think I'd say 99% of men are on board, especially these days, women having exactly the same rights as men. That's why I said it was definitely needed. But it's created a lot of confusion. A lot of men are lost. Like, what do you want from me is a common thing that man will say. So you get back to the core of it. Like women give birth, they raise the child, they are supported by the man who creates safety, creates housing. That to the core of it is basically masculine and feminine. Now, when you've got a masculine and feminine energy together, you're going to clash. You're going to also oppositely come together beautifully. And it's just like you said before, I think you used the word, it's a dance. But basically, for me, the masculine and the feminine really find what they are in a relationship of a man and a woman. And that comes with ups and downs, but basically through communication, connection, goal setting together, you can really sort of find it should end up coming naturally to the man and to the woman. The woman can work when you're both supporting each other in your goals at the end of the road together, and you kind of fall in, and it's different for every single couple. Every single couple is different, but having those goals and using connection, communication, and stuff like that to really bring together your focus on something moving forward, whether it's having a child, getting a house, depends where you're at in life. But I do believe wholeheartedly that we will naturally fall into those masculine, feminine roles. And then it's a difficult thing to explain exactly what they are because, like I said,
mm.
everyone's different. But if you can naturally fall into those roles in that relationship without any outside influence, then that's what it means for you.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Don't you feel like we're almost going backwards? Like you were saying, it's like we have to kind of go backwards because there was that movement, like you were saying, but then everyone kind of forgot their roles because everyone wanted to be equals. And then it's just like, yeah, like you said, and men got confused. I didn't really know. Yeah, I can agree with that so much. I was talking to a friend recently and she said her son, this is a perspective of, we're talking about the perspective of his son. Her son said, "Mum, I don't know what to do with girls anymore because they want to do everything. They want to be independent. They want to, like, I don't know what my role is." And he was like 12 or 13 or something. And I was like, isn't that so true? Because they're growing up believing that they're, that they have to play this certain role, I guess. And they've lost their way of what it looks like to be masculine. Yeah, for a masculine to lead and a feminine to receive.
A good question for him to ask those girls is, what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Women in their full feminine are full of ideas and full of, that's where they lead. This is what we should do. This feels amazing. Let's go dancing, whatever. It's the male's role is sometimes just to support, and it
Mm,
can be vice versa. But women are much better communicators, and boys or men, in your case, your son, he probably wouldn't have thought, oh, well, I'll just ask.
mm. Yeah, exactly. So from a man's perspective, because this is what I'm really loving about, ask more about in this conversation. Man perspective, right? So we've got a lot of female listeners. So from a man's perspective, what helps a masculine man feel, I guess, respected and supported in a relationship?
Respected and supported. This comes back to the goals.
Mm,
As you just said, we're in a relationship here. If a man is truly in his masculine, he's not going to deviate outside of trying to reach those goals. And if he does unknowingly think something's trying to get me to that goal, and the woman comes in with the feminine and says, hey, I don't think that's quite right, a moment for discussion, a moment for communication. But to your question, feeling respected is, as I said before, women are good at communicators. Just saying, hey, I noticed what you're doing. Sorry, I've got chihuahuas. I'm being
yeah,
mindful.
that's okay.
Men feel respected usually when they're told they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I was going to say appreciate it. Yeah.
Communicate that to them. What was the other? Respected and
Respect and supported.
supported is, yeah, as it states, to support my man to do it.
Mm,
That's where that question I said about your son could be asked again, back to the man. What can I do to support you? As with
yeah, my
every
friend's son. Yeah.
friend's son, yeah, sorry. But everything is yin and yang. That question can be asked both ways. What can I do to support you? And often the man doesn't even bloody know what he,
Yeah.
but he hasn't thought that that's what he needs. And that just the asking of the question, even if he doesn't answer it there and then, he'll go away and think about that and go, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I can use for support.
Yeah, I love that. So,
You might have things that you do, like I work with my hands and body quite a lot. When I first met Stacey, she said, oh, I was a masseuse for 10 years.
yeah,
Sometimes just that support, I'm a bit sore, can you massage?
yeah.
Fortunately, she refuses to massage me. I'm 6'7", I'm too big, she reckons.
Yeah.
But yeah, just something simple like that. But that support and respect comes basically with communication.
Yes. Everything comes down to communication, right?
It does, communications and actions.
Mm,
A lot of men I work with, and when we're sitting in men's circles, it's good getting them to sort of speak up. Sometimes they don't know how to vocalize what they're saying. A lot of men just want to feel desired as well.
mm-hmm.
It's been a really big recurring. Men are usually the ones chasing sex.
Mm,
Oh yeah, yeah. He always wants it, but the reciprocal doesn't seem to be there as much. So just saying, hey, you're looking hot today, babe, can
mm,
really have a big effect.
yeah.
And that's part of support.
Mm. Yeah, that is so true. Because I mean, yeah, if you're not receiving that, I think there's this misconception that you've got it all together and whatever, but you still need that support and that, like you said, that desire and that communication. And
Yeah. Well, most women feel desired by their husband, I hope,
mm. Yeah.
but it doesn't seem to be as reciprocal.
So on the flip side
And
of that,
when we say desired, it doesn't need to be sex. It can just be, I
yeah,
want to lay down and have a hug, or just touch. Touch is a big thing for men. Touch is a very big love language for a lot of men. So it doesn't always need to lead to sex, because sometimes women might hear that and go, oh, if I show him even a little bit, then he's going to want it. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't always have to mean that. And you can vocalize that in your relationships as well.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. There's so many just little things that I think there's just misconceptions that people have, and it's just like it just needs to be broken down. So on the flip side of that, what are ways that you find, like from your experience chatting, coaching men, that they're unintentionally shut down in their relationships, which then like kind of taps into their masculine energy?
I'd say the number one reason men shut down, I mean, there's a plethora of reasons, and women shut down too, but a lot of men feel like they can't do anything right. And this is where it's very important having those goals. And when I talk about goals, they could be down the track, 20 years time, 10 years time, 5 years time, weekly goals, whatever. Having those goals when you're both working towards it, you're both not going to do anything wrong. And if someone deviates or the other person thinks someone's deviating from that intention or that goal, you just bring them back into line or have a discussion. Everything should be fluid. The goal is going to be there. Once you sort of get to a closer goal, that goal that's further down might change.
Mm,
And that's where the communication comes in. So shutting down is more often than not from men, I can't do anything right. So
yeah.
if you're talking about it and even voicing, I don't think I like what you're doing when you do this sort of thing, how you pack the dishwasher, whatever. But
Mm,
if you voice it and he can disagree, but at least then you're talking about it. Talking and communicating is way better than shutting down.
yeah, exactly. What do you mean by goals? Like, is it goals put together, working towards? What do you mean
You
by
can
that?
have financial goals, house goals, relationship goals, holidays, something to look forward to. You're always moving, always working forward. If you just um, sit there and do the same routine without something to look forward to, things are going to get stale and someone's going to get, or both of you are going to get a bit bored.
Yeah. Yeah. So you work like closely with men in your coaching programs and things.
Yeah.
What do you see the most? Like you were saying, like they might feel shut down or whatever. What do you feel most that men are struggling with that women may not fully understand? Like if you could open up the little lens for women to get
To
an
looking for
idea. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The superpower we talked about at the start.
men are struggling with basically their place. And this kind of comes back to what I was saying about my son getting into the eye of the lens because I'm terrible at tech. My wife's always like, take photos this way for Instagram and stuff. But we've got so much outside noise.
Mm,
You've got so many influences coming in to the manosphere.
the
That's a,
manosphere.
that's a nip word at the moment. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen the shorts. That men, like I was saying before, men are confused about what women want.
Mm,
By the same token, I think women are confused about what they want in a man as well. Whether they've
yeah.
been told what they want, then they're not really acting authentically, are they? They've never really gone within,
Mm,
regulated their nervous system, and really discovered who they are.
yeah.
So again, if you're not in a relationship as a female and someone's piqued your interest or whatever, just speak to them. Just open up that line of communication. If they won't communicate, probably go away and think about it and possibly come back later. It's a difficult one because of how much outside noise there is. And
Mm,
it's where I'd probably appeal to everyone to sort of have a look. You're doing a cleanse at the moment.
mm.
I think it's really good thing to do a cleanse of technology as well and social media. And it really
Yeah.
brings you back into who you actually are.
Mm,
So once you're in that space, both men and women, once you're in that space, you're going to be more authentic in your day-to-day conversations with other people.
mm.
I digressed a bit there, but
No, that was really good. It's really funny you said what you want because I feel like people don't know what they want, but then also when they receive what they want, like you said, you have to do the work on yourself to be able to receive that sometimes.
yeah, That's what Balanced Hearts was all about, yeah.
What's up? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you actually have to embody that first, and it's not until you actually do receive what you want. It's like, oh, I've got to do some work here to receive that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you found that when you met Stacey. Like, what was Stacey saying actually? And this really landed with me, and I kind of held on to it. She said, actually, it was when she met you, and she said, if I hadn't done the work on myself and the self love and the work, I would have found Trent to be overpowering, as in like too much. Like you were very, showing your affection and love towards her. But if she didn't do that work on the inside to herself, it would have been hard to receive that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. But you were,
absolutely.
well, and I think these days in society, it gets shown like if someone is interested or or even exhibiting some of the green flags, as you say, some people can take that the wrong way and say like, oh, they're too nice and they're coming on too strong. It's like, well, are you able to actually receive that? Because they're just doing their thing.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in timing.
Mm,
So if you're after a shallow relationship, go for it. You'll get shallow. Do you know what I mean? And there's the whole, oh, he just wants sex,
mm,
whatever. And the same could be said for a lot of women as well. But if you're doing the work on yourself and you become more authentic, cut out all that outside noise and really know who you are, I don't think you'll ever stop learning who you are, but
mm,
you'll get to the core of it. You get to your values and things like that. And this is where the timing comes in. Someone might pique your interest, but he's in a completely different level.
mm.
And I think the thing I struggle with is a lot of men are very reticent to doing the work on themselves, and that's what I'm trying to work out.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm in a lot of like female groups and business groups and things like that. And we talk relationships, and a lot of things that come up is I'm doing the work, but he won't. How do you, obviously, you just mentioned it then.
It's a
What do you
hard
think?
one. Stacey and I have had a lot of couples, the woman has said that.
Mm,
This is where the goals setting comes in.
mm,
And you don't want to go, you got to do this or I'm going to leave you or anything like that. But encourage him. Look how good I'm doing. Look how well I'm feeling. If I've lost weight or if I'm not as depressed as I used to be, I'm not as angry as I used to be because I've been doing this work.
mm,
You could do the same. Like,
mm,
come with me. Use an invitation. Come with me. Come with me and do this work. It doesn't have to be the same work.
mm. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes, like, there's women's circles, and I wouldn't imagine a lot of men would get a lot out of those. There's dancing and stuff like
Mm,
that. Oh, this is nice, but that's not men doing the work. So the men go and find a men's circle. A good way to start is breathwork because it's so within. You're not being judged by other people. You've got your eyes
mm,
closed, stuff like that. It's how I get a lot of men in and then start doing the work. I've
mm.
had quite a few success stories starting there.
Yeah, exactly. And not coming from like a nagging place or making someone do something like, come along and do this. And because you're never going to get anywhere with doing that.
Use the word I'm inviting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because it's like that elastic band theory. It's like, have you heard of that? Where the couple's got the elastic band around them, and one
Yeah.
of them's doing the work, and then that elastic band's getting taut and like tighter and tighter and more
Is it
taut.
going to break
It's
or
either going to
recoil?
break or they're going to go with. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. The amount of men that come to our events with their partners and you see their face and they're like, you can tell they've been sort of
yeah,
dragged, kicking and screaming. And
yeah,
95, 99% of them don't want to go. And the woman's trying to leave and he's sitting there talking to me or Stace about what just happened. It's really satisfying.
yes, exactly. It's just going for it, isn't it? And like into the unknown. Otherwise, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah. And it can be masculine work. Go to the gym more.
Mm.
The fitter you feel, the more happier you are and the more likely you are or more open you are to doing more work.
What about the woman that says they want to drop more into her feminine, right? Which
Yeah.
what would you say from a man's perspective on how they can lead?
On how who can lead,
Sorry, how the woman can do that.
on how the woman can drop into her feminine.
Yeah,
She's not going to do that until she feels supported.
yeah,
She feels that she can trust there's no judgment. because whatever that means, dropping into their feminine for that female may be confronting for a male if she's been doing the work and he hasn't. She can say, "Hey, I'm feeling this. This is me now. This is what I want to do now. This is what I want to be part of our lives now."
Mm.
But a woman's never going to drop into a feminine fully unless she's in a women's group, or unless she, not permission, but unless she's invited to by a male, by the masculine. If she's invited to, that means she's safe,
Mm.
feels supported in doing so. And like I said a couple of questions ago, that's dropping into the feminine is different for every single woman.
Mm. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's the dance between the two.
It's also what comes to mind just briefly. There was a big thing when I was a teenager. It was all, what was it called? I grew up in the 90s, so when manscaping and all that came in, I forget what they called it. Anyway, a big thing was men were starting to be asked, show a bit of your feminine side. That's a very confusing thing to say to a man. What does that mean? Do you want me to be a girl?
Mm.
I think what they mean is, can I show my feminine side to you? And you soften and support me doing that without judgment, even show love while I'm doing it. That's what I think that means. Show a bit of your feminine side is more geared towards, can I show my feminine side and you support me and make a safe space for it? Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah, it definitely does. I thought you were going to talk about the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Never read it. Mum tried to give it to me once.
And it's such an old book. I actually listened to a podcast. It's actually really interesting. Some concepts in there are really interesting about the what someone would perceive as, you know, love or of support, the other one doesn't. So I think that was really interesting. It's like like the man takes out the bin and he gets 30 points because he's helping around the house, but he brings home like whatever amount of money for the day and it's only like 2 points because that's not what she's needing right now.
Yeah.
It's that whole concept. Yeah.
I think a really good exercise, and I'll probably talk about more couples exercises later, is figuring out what each of your values are.
Mm.
And those points will add up when you're alluding to those values. Does that make sense? If someone's, one of their values is touch, like a lot of men,
Yeah,
I'll say,
exactly. Then you go for that. Exactly.
you go for
Yeah.
the
The love
touch.
languages.
If it's not receiving gifts and you're giving him gifts all the time,
Yes.
what's that? So alluding or working with those core values, most people are sort of asked to get 5, and then you can have lower ones after that. Knowing your partner's core values, and it's something I revisit it all the time because I didn't ever hear about that until I met Stacey
Mm.
6-7 years ago. And when I did it, I was like, oh yeah, that. And now I really think about it and ask her again what hers are, and it makes it so much easier.
So how can someone do that if they haven't done that before? What are some things that couples can do together?
Well, yeah, find out what your values are. You can just Google it. Love values, relationship values, things like that. There's a plethora of it.
Mm.
And just put values exercise into Google. Other connection exercises, I'll use what Stacey and I do. We walk every single day together. Walking is a very good one, especially when you're a bit off with each other, when you're having a fight, or you had a fight last night.
Mhm.
It's good because you're not making eye contact. It's a bit easier, especially for men, it's a bit easier to talk when there's not the fiery eyes. But you might do the walk and not talk at all, and
Mhm.
that's fine. But you've had that connection, hold hands, do whatever, if that's your thing. Some people aren't into PDAs, but walking together every day helps. Having dogs sort of look at you when they don't don't get a walk. But that's something I definitely would recommend as a daily or a couple of times a week exercise. That's a non-negotiable. It's also a good tool to do when you are having a fight. Sort of hash it out a bit better because you're walking. You're not going to yell at the top of your lungs while you're out walking.
Mm.
So you're a bit cooler and calmer, and you're not you're not face to face.
Yeah.
So that's a really good tool when you're having an argument. We like to at least once a week, I'd say we'd do it. We'd just lay there and just do eye gazing. Be uncomfortable sometimes. It's usually more uncomfortable for the woman. But yeah, 30 seconds. If you can do a minute, even better. Just sit there and look at each other. Don't talk.
I used to find that so awkward. Now I've learnt to do
Most
it,
people
but
do it.
yeah. Wonder why it's harder for the female.
I'm not sure.
Might be more intimidating or something. Yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm.
But apparently women, value it more. So
Yes.
when you're in conversation having that eye contact.
I love doing it. If something's lurking below the surface, often it'll come up. It'll
Mm,
come into your own mind. Okay, I haven't told her about this. I should tell her. Or she might say the same thing because it's coming up. I really
mm,
love this guy because I'm staring into his eyes. It's that connection again.
the reconnect.
So yeah, it can bring stuff up. Stacey and I sit with a plant medicine called Harpe once a week together, and that could be similar to doing breath work together or meditating together. We put our hands on our hearts together and just sit there with our eyes closed, feeling each other's heartbeat. And it's just, again, another connection exercise. And also date nights.
Yes.
You've got to have fun as well. Date nights or little getaways, they're perfect. And that brings
Yeah.
back to something to look forward to each week.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I love that. They're the little things, but the things that people often, forget about after a while. So that's like, yeah, they're beautiful, like reconnection little tools. So thanks
You've got to
for,
make them non-negotiable.
yeah, exactly. Both important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Schedule them in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were saying like breath work and meditation and things. How important is that for like nervous system regulation and breath work for both
Well,
couples?
nervous system regulation is important for every single person. If
Mm,
you're in a heightened state, high cortisol, no sleep, anything like that, your nervous system's out. You're not going to make good decisions.
mm,
Anger is often expressed when you're out of whack with your nervous system.
mm-hmm,
So, like I was saying before, even going to the gym, that'll get your nervous system back because you're exerting effort. You're forcing yourself to breathe a bit harder, which is good, always good. But if I've got a big decision to make, sometimes I'll just go and do a breath. Things might come up that you hadn't thought of because you're in the moment, especially at work. I'll think about things and just go, even 3 breaths, just because I'm so used to it now. My body knows what I'm doing. You train at it. I'll just take 3 breaths and go, oh, there's a better way to do that.
mm,
And it always makes a better decision when your nervous system's very regulated.
yeah.
Again, non-negotiables for you personally, doing something like that at least once a week. As I said to you, I do my 30 breaths daily. Having a daily exercise is great, but something where you can go a bit deeper for a bit longer amount of time, half an hour, whatever you've got time for. Again, non-negotiable for yourself to regulate your nervous system. Cold showers.
Yes. Yeah.
Not
All
everyone has an ice bath.
the ice bath. Yeah. That's important, like, yeah, for both parties because then you're showing up as your best self.
And what better time to do it than do it together?
Mhm.
And we touched on it before. It might be different things. Doing the work might be different for male and female, and you do them separately. That's fine. Or you could do some breath work while your wife meditates. Whatever works for you, but do it together.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So if both partners truly want to create a conscious, thriving relationship, what does that masculine and feminine dance look like when it's working well? We've talked about like when it hasn't been working well. What does
Yeah.
it look like when it's working well?
You're communicating first and foremost. You're both excited about what the future's bringing.
Yeah, I like that.
You're both being supportive of each other. You're both creating a safe environment to speak up when you're not. That's pretty much it. All boils down to your goals, your intentions for life together, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and the communication that surrounds that.
Yeah, I love that. So for someone listening, how can someone, well, or their partner, if it's a female listening, I was trying to put that string of sentence together. How can they get their partner to work with you?
Oh, absolutely. DM on Instagram's probably best. I'll send you that way. My website's about to go live. I've dragged my feet on that. My wife has pulled me back into my goal. It's about to go live. And as I said, I've got my men's retreat. I'm looking at August, September. Very limited numbers. I'm only doing it between 10 and 12 men for that one.
Mhm.
So if they want to reach out to me via Instagram for the time being and follow me there, and I'll have my website up in my link tree as soon as possible.
Yeah, nice. Amazing. Well, this has been such a great chat, Trent. I've definitely enjoyed your masculine perspective on things. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish up?
No, thank you very much for having me. For any men listening, just find something that works for you and then start doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
women will love it.
I will. Thank you so much for this. It's been great.
Thanks, Hayley. Much appreciated.
If this conversation sparks something inside you, if you're feeling that little nudge that says, I'm ready for more, then my 90-minute private one-on-one coaching sessions might be exactly what you need. These sessions are a really powerful space where we go deep together. We look at what's actually holding you back, what your body and mind are asking for, and we map out a clear, personalized path forward so you can start feeling confident, aligned, and truly amazing in your body again. This is not just a chat. This is a focused, transformational session where you get my full support and guidance tailored specifically to you. And because integration is where real change happens, you'll also receive 7 days of WhatsApp support after our call, so you're not left trying to figure things out alone. I do keep these sessions very limited each month because I want to be able to give each woman my full energy and attention. So if this is calling you, I encourage you to grab a spot while they're available. You can find the booking link in the show notes. For all the notes from today's episode, check the show notes under this episode description. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend who might need to hear this. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep glowing, keep growing, and remember, you are so worthy of feeling amazing in your body and mind. Mwah!